Good morning, students, and happy Wednesday. So for today, we are starting a new concept. This concept is called probability and statistics. It may seem a little intimidating at first, but I can promise you that it's easy, and especially today since it is our first time. So first, I'm going to explain to you what probability means using our directions as a guide, and then I'm going to explain to you how to do your exercises. So it says that probability tells what chance or how likely it is for an event to occur, and probability can be written as a fraction. I always like to tell my students, imagine rolling a die or two dice and think about the chances that you would roll a specific number. So if you had only one die, know that one die has 6 sides. So what would the probability of you rolling a 1 be? Well, it would be 1 out of 6 because there are only 6 options. Or what would the probability of rolling a 2 be? Well, again, there are only 6 options, so it would be 1 out of 6. But we're going to get there. So in this case, it uses a coin. It says, if you toss a coin, what is the probability that it will show heads? Well, heads is one outcome, and there are only 2 possible outcomes, so your probability is going to be 1 out of 2, because there's only 2 outcomes. Now, in this case, it says there are 6 marbles in a jar. So you always have to keep in mind how many are total. What are your total numbers? So we have 6 marbles, and for this example, it says 3 of the marbles are red, 2 are blue, and 1 is green. What is the probability that you will draw a blue one without looking? Okay, so you would look first at how many marbles there are in total. So we know there are 6. And then how many blue marbles are there? There are 2. So the probability that you would draw a blue one without looking would be 2 out of 6. 2 out of 6 chances that you would pull out a blue marble. So if you think about it, you have a higher chance of pulling a red marble because there are 3 red marbles. So you can think of it like that. If somebody were to give you 6 marbles and there are 5 red and only 1 blue, you know that you are way more likely to pull a red. You'd have a 5 out of 6 chance to pull a red. Now you might pull the blue for sure, but you only have a 1 out of 6 chance to pull it. So we're going to use some more information. It's also using marbles to decide what the probability would be to pull one or a combination of these marbles. So I'm going to give you a good tip. It says there are 3 red marbles, 6 blue marbles, 2 black marbles, and 1 green marble in a can. Find the probability for each. Well, before we start, we have to know how many marbles there are in total. So let's count them. We have 3 plus 6, that makes 9, plus 2 makes 11, plus 1 makes 12. So it is very important that we know that there are 12 marbles in total. That's how we'll be able to figure out our probability in the form of fraction. And now that we know that we have 12 marbles in total, the rest is quite easy. So let's do the first 2 samples together. Okay, so it says a red marble. What are our chances that we would pull a red marble? Well, there are 3 red marbles out of the 12. So simply, we would have a 3 out of 12 chance to pull a red marble. And of course, later you could simplify that but we can get into that a little later. You don't have to simplify it. 3 out of 12 chance. Now, what are the chances that you would pull a blue or green marble? Okay, so make sure if it's asking for 2 that you combine those numbers. Well, there are 6 blue marbles and there is 1 green marble. So let's add those together. So we have 6 plus 1 makes 7. So we have a 7 out of 12 chance that we would put a blue or green. See? So very basic, very simple. We know how many marbles we have in total. Just find or add up the amount of marbles of each of the colors and then put your probability fraction. For numbers 1 through 10, please put them in the answer column. And here for Wednesday, for our vocabulary word assignment, as usual, you will write your vocabulary words and hopefully you have written the definitions. Again, you can use your prefix, root, and suffix clues up here to help you understand your vocabulary words, especially that some of them are much more challenging. So my number 1 recommendation is that you already have your definitions next to you. That will make everything a whole lot easier. And if you read the example or sample sentence in your spelling dictionary by every word, then you will also get tips as to which vocabulary word would best complete these sentences. And then, of course, as often you do, you have a multiple choice for best meaning.